A beautiful morning it is. Welcome to Quest Television right here. And it is the 19th day already in the month of May. We continue to wax stronger and stronger. We thank God Almighty for the gift of a new day. I'm Praise Soja and I have Ifamanuku right here with me this morning, putting on a pink and a black color. Well matched. I believe I'm right with that color. I don't know.
Don't start the color thing with women.
Okay.
Obviously, you're going to get tired.
Definitely, you guys always win because you have the strength and the power to change.
And we have
colors.
Names.
Exactly. But talking about colors, I don't know if it's a colorful thing right now in the All Progressives Congress because yesterday, all over the country, the All Progressives Congress held their senatorial primaries, and there were a lot of winners and a lot of losers. The build-up to the 2027 election took, a dramatic turn as the All Progressives Congress plunged into a wave of internal realignment, high-profile defeat, and consensus maneuvers during its senatorial primaries held across the country. Now, let's just quickly give you, a kind of a summary of some of the stories that we can get this morning. The exercise produced one of the most striking outcomes in recent party history, with political heavyweights, including former governors and former 7 power brokers, losing out, while a new set of influential figures secure the party's senatorial tickets amid a mix of contested primaries, consensus arrangement, and disputed clearances. In Delta State, let's begin from Delta State, where it was a dramatic senatorial primary. In Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, who is the former governor of Delta State, defeated incumbent Ned Nwoko in Delta North, while Senator Dafinone overcome ex-Senate Deputy President Omo Agege in a tense poll in Delta Central. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that, the issue of who won in Delta Central, rather, because the ex-Senate Deputy Senate President, rather, is claiming that he won. He made a very lengthy press statement yesterday or the early hours of this morning claiming that he won. But then, Dafinone was declared as the winner for the Delta Central position. Big wigs like the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, the Senate Leader, Opeyemi Bamidele, Senator Alain Dume, Senator Adams Oshomole, emerged as consensus aspirants in their various states. In Edo South, there was a lot of confusion trailed the APC primary after 2 separate victory claims emerged from rival camps. So, different camps are claiming that they won. I've never seen that kind of thing before. It tells you how highly contested it was. Omo Agege Ihema was officially declared winner by the APC Coalition Committee after polling 27,154 votes ahead of Senator Neda Imasuen and Pastor Osagi Ize Iyamo. However, another faction declared Ize Iyamo winner of the contest. So, who are we going to believe? Imasuen rejected the entire process, describing it as manipulated. In Kogi State, let's go to Kogi State because that happened to be my state. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello staged a major political comeback after emerging winner of the APC Senatorial Primary for Kogi Central, and he did it in a landslide fashion. In Kano North, the Deputy Senate President, that's Barau Jibrin, also emerged through affirmation amid a massive show of support. So it was more like they showed the support to the Deputy Senate President. I already told us that Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele emerged as a consensus candidate for Ekiti Central with 29,586 votes. In Ogun State, Governor Dapo Abiodun emerged as the winner of the Ogun East Senatorial District of the APC primary election held across the 9 local government areas. In Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodinma emerged as the All Progressives Congress candidate for the Imo West senatorial district ahead of the 2027 election, of course, defeating Okorocha in the contest. In Ebonyi State, the 3 APC incumbent senators, Senator Anthony Ani of Ebonyi South, Senator Onyekachi Nwa-Ebonyi of Ebonyi North, and Senator Kenneth Eze of Ebonyi Central were returned as the party's candidates, following what officials describe as a strict adherence to the consensus arrangement. But this morning, I want us to take a look at, a sound bite from Delta State and that of Edo State, where the controversy happened. There were even cases of assault, to persons. But let's have a look at some of them.
Senator Dafinone haven't satisfied the requirements of our great party and haven't scored the highest number of votes in this primary, Delta Central Senatorial Primaries, is hereby declared as the winner of the Delta Central Senatorial District Primary.
Having scored the highest number of votes in the Delta North Senatorial District of APC Senatorial Primaries of Delta North, is hereby declared the winner of this election.
I'm a politician and understand a whole lot of things. I do not like to say that I made a mistake, but the real truth is that first, the people of the South were not ready. They were not ready for another Northerner to come in. So I think my party then, the PDP then, made a mistake by bringing a Northern candidate.
The man wanted to run with the result sheet, so then I'm not following up. So before I know, they start me for back with knife.
Has 3,058. The Mansman has 1,529, and the Yam has 765. Cumulatively, the total we have is this. For the Edo South Senatorial District, you have Inama with 27,154, the Mansman with 13,580, and the Yam with 6,785. This is the total reflection of what has transpired from the one level to the local government and being donated at the Edo South Senatorial Coalition Center. With this, Ihama, with this, we will wait for the directives from the National Secretariat. We have done our best by collecting. Our mandate is to collect results and send forth to the National Secretariat. But you know the number of votes that have been casted, and this is a good reflection of what has transpired.
Where I want us to really talk about this morning is that of Delta Central and Kogi Central, and I also think Edo South, where the controversy is heavy. Of course, when you look at some parts of the north, not much of a problem coming from there. Even some part of the southwest, like Ekiti, Ekiti State, Ogun. These places don't have, even some part of the southeast as well. We don't know yet for Anambra, but what are your thoughts about the conduct of the primaries by the APC generally, and then you cannot anchor it on, you cannot come to that of Delta Central?
Well, who would believe that what's played out has been, I don't know if the members of APC knew or perceived that there were, permit me to use the word, that there were going to be manipulations, so to say, because that's of the incumbents and the way, yesterday I saw it as being, I'm not saying that anybody who is on the seat has every right to return, but the way APC has been, and the drama they've been throwing all around that, made us, when Samson was here, we were talking about their strategy and all that. And then the incumbent office position holders never saw this coming. So it felt like opening somebody's hand and taking what you're holding. But that is politics. That is why there is voting, right? So it is bound to happen. For me, it's really very, very dramatic from assumed very organized APC. Right? We assume that APC has no loopholes. They have tightened up all the... And the fact that this is happening in their primaries, it's really very dramatic and so worthy to watch. But it's a lesson. Okay? I really want that, the dramatic, the epic of the drama for me is for the people who defected at the later end. I don't know what was going on in their mind. Were they hoping that, let us just identify with APC and we will still be where we are? So it was so dramatic. And in the Southeast, Southeasterners, they have a way of blowing something, like, even when you don't want to consider it, they have a way of calling your attention to particular things. I don't want to mention names, but, there are people who, they felt robbed of their membership of this APC on their faces. I mean, they have every right to belong to any political party they want to, but the way they made the noise, the way they made people like, okay, this is, and at the end of the day, they lost. Losing is not a child's play, right? Like Mr. President told some of the members, some lose, some win, but then don't gloat over, the winners shouldn't gloat over the losers, and losers shouldn't take it, extreme.
One interesting thing about the APC senatorial primary is, I think it had all shades of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And in some places, they went for consensus. In some places,
you can imagine that three pattern.
They went for direct primaries. That's who wins at the poll, takes it. But some people are not satisfied, like in Delta Central.
Why wouldn't they be satisfied? Were they not part of the agreement? Were they not part of this political party? Did they make these plans above them or without them?
Whether they agree or not, results has been declared. So I think it is right for everyone involved to just, bring down their arms,
if you lose,
and let whatever that has transpired take its course to the fullest.
But I feel there are going to be legal contention.
Definitely, there's going to be the legal part,
which will now bring cracks
in the APC. Well, I think they have the capacity to manage the cracks. See, the APC know that they can't show any sign of weakness right now because of some persons agree, some persons do not agree. And for me, the crack will be most obvious in Delta State, because you look at what is happening in Delta Central right now. The people there are APC people. For me, it says that in the APC, it's not just a one-way thing. You have to fight for what you believe in. You have to know how to mobilize your supporters to come out for you. And some people did it better. 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I had a very interesting debate on radio with two people from Delta North. One for Senator Ned and one for Okowa. And I just stood at the center of them, and I was just trying to moderate everything.
No, you can't.
In that kind of, I couldn't moderate because it was, you could feel the tension. And even after, when the result came out, one of them sent me a message yesterday night. I was like, say, praise, I told you that Senator Okowa would win. I think what Senator Okowa did was to use the power of, support. He understands.
He has always had that support anyway.
He understands grassroots.
I agree.
Better than Senator Ned
yeah.
Nwoko.
Okay.
Senator Ned Nwoko, I feel, well, I might be wrong in my opinion, but judging from what I see, I think he's a little bit distant
From his people.
From his people. And I'm not just the only one saying it. I've also seen some Deltans, also complain about such. The only thing that they always talk about him, remind him for, is the creation of Anioma State and his contribution to where it is until
that would
today.
that would tell you the power of grassroots. That when I mean people now, the grassroots that we know, when they talk, people shouldn't take it for talking sake, because like I always say, they are the people who are going to vote. However you garner their support doesn't matter when it comes to politics. But if they are not solidly behind you, you just watched it play out. I agree with you absolutely. Senator Kowa has always had that support. However he does his stuff, I don't know, but he has always,
despite all of the controversy,
do you understand? He has the support, because even the same grassroots that we are talking about might come out to say all sorts of things or speculations, but at the end of the day, it is when the vote is being counted that you know whether they they were actually saying what they were saying, or were they so talking about the cracks in APC again, for one, I knew that all this hopping into this political party, even with the people already existing members, that something, I don't know, I couldn't lay my hand about it, but I knew that something will pop up from APC, that other parties, or will I say outside, that are going to be like, really, is this actually, because when other political parties were having their ups and downs, APC was giving that feeling that we have it together,
We are invincible.
we have it all
but
together.
When it comes to politics, no one has it. No political party.
But please, I feel that this might not really, I know that APC is always, they have their strategies, but I am looking at 2027. And you made mention of that they have a way of calming everybody down, putting things together. Human beings are human beings. Remember when we were talking about Obi and the Kwankwaso and Atiku in ADC? And I told you, everybody, they have what they are pursuing. The fact that we are under the same roof, does not kill what I am pursuing. I mean, we have common interests. That's why we are somewhere.
Exactly.
We have common interests.
There's no one who can tell me that it doesn't have.
So it doesn't strangle what I want to achieve. Now, bringing it to APC right about now, people are aggrieved though. And
it will not show now. I think it's going to play out in 2027 during the election.
I'm looking at 2027, and the fact that some might not have the opportunity to defect.
Yes.
But when
they can defect, but they cannot contest.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they can defect, but they cannot contest. But when grievance comes to play, it's an emotion. Somebody who you felt has wronged you, especially people that you were counting on. It's about, there's this song we sing in Igbo. Like when somebody is standing up, you have done me something. Instead of me to be standing and you are standing, I'd rather pull you down. Let all of us be down. So I don't know how, again, I'm feeling, I might not lay my hands around it, but we should just watch out for drama rather.
All right.
2027.
Well, talking about drama, let's go to Oyo State and do a follow-up story of what transpired after the abduction in 3 schools in Oyo State. Now, yesterday, teachers shut down classroom activities in Ogbomosho, Oyo State, and staged a peaceful protest to the TESCOM office in the town over the recent abduction of students and teachers, which resulted in the killing of 1 teacher. The protesters marched with placards bearing various inscriptions calling on the government at all levels to intensify effort towards securing the release of those currently being held captive by kidnappers. The demonstration followed the recent abduction incident in Orire community, local government, where a lot of school children were taken, and there have been some developments to this story. We heard also, we're going to also hear from the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, who spoke. But first, I want us to take a look at the protests by these teachers who took to the street yesterday, and then also hear from the Oyo State Governor and some of the steps that they are taking as far as this issue is concerned.
Security situation at Orire local government area, the abduction of some teachers and school children. First, let me appeal to the families that are involved, that their government is working around the clock to ensure that we tackle the challenges. And for our troops, for our service commanders, we have lost an Amotekun operative and a few wounded, both soldiers and hunters and other operatives. They are recovering fully. What we know right now is that 7 teachers in all are involved, were abducted, and unfortunately we got a video this morning that one of the teachers, I understand the maths teacher, was killed by the terrorists this morning. Of course, our prayers are with the family. We have decided that we will adopt not just the kinetic approach. There's been a lot of threats. There's been a lot of our leaders and elders, religious elders, especially the Baptist Convention, because one of the schools involved is a Baptist school. I want to appeal. We are not taking this lightly.
All right, that is Governor Seyi Makinde speaking. So the teachers actually took to the streets yesterday to protest. They were crying, and it's actually a painful situation. But what do you make of the development?
Yeah, I totally support teachers for that protest, because at least that is what they could do at the moment. And you know, praise about what those bandits, terrorists, whatever name they are being given, and how they dare. When we were younger, I used to have a friend that would tell you, triple dare you. When you talk about killing, there's no death that is palatable, but there's a decent death. What's the crime of that teacher? His crime apparently is because he's a Nigerian. He was a Nigerian, because maybe he's in the past now. He was a Nigerian doing his diligent duty on suspicion that from his place of work he was going to, would be his end in a nation that he called a fatherland. He was beheaded, and it wasn't the co-victims that made the video and sent to us. Whether they sent it to the government, we all saw it. It was the same people who are perpetuating this crime that sent it across. That is why I said they are triple daring the government. And what is the government doing in return? We condemn. Let there be calm. We are walking around the clock. We are, you see, praise, it has moved from a security men, personnel, the military, the police, the other security outfit. It is coming to other professions. Teachers are harmless. Do you understand? The pupils are harmless. What was his crime? Was he trying to run, or were they trying to pass a message to the Nigerian government? He was beheaded. So I'm taking us back again. We had when a Plateau incident happened, and the state governor was asking for a calm. Nigerians cannot keep on being calm.
Asking for calm when parents are involved and children.
Even the Plateau, it was, Nigerians were so aggrieved, they were so angry. Even when you were addressing the public, you took shield.
Well, you don't expect him.
No, I'm not saying. Why won't they extend this? I mean, when they pinch you, it will pain you. Now, know how parents whose children went to school, teachers whose family expect that they are in their workplaces, because that woman who spoke, maybe she's a mother, and of course she may be a wife, and the family is in disarray. Families are in disarray over the state. This is Oyo. We don't know the next state. We don't know the next state. So the government telling the citizens to remain calm, it will be proper. When you are asking them to remain calm, let there be result. Let us see what you people are doing. Stop telling us you're walking around the clock. Meanwhile, attentions are all over the place about elections, about who. Come on.
In 2014, Chibok girls. In 2018, Dapchi school girls. In 2025, MAGA.
2026.
2026.
We have
three schools at the same time. And yesterday we talked about the 30 million naira fund for the Safe School Initiative. Just like we talk about Operation Safe Corridor, where they reintegrate, ex-criminals or terrorists back into the society. I think enough is enough of talking. These are teachers who went to their place of work to work and earn a living and feed themselves and their families. These are school children who went to school to learn. Innocent children who went to school to learn. And even in their learning, there is no protection. I'm asking myself a very important question right now. What the trauma will look like for these school children? And we live in times where people have noticed a gradual decline in education in Nigeria. Just imagine the kind of fear that this incident will put in the minds of school children. Now is the best time for the government to take a decisive action by truly implementing the Safe School Initiative.
Praise, may I add, we're talking about Safe School Initiative. Now, terrorism is already doing a mess on its own side. Government and the representatives on their own side. Remember cases of people who made video call the attention of representatives about the deteriorating situation of some schools. They say, I'm trying to, link what you're saying to the status of our schools. Buildings are leaking. Is it buildings leaking buildings that are going to have a very tangible security? So it is terrorism on one side. And other people, lawmakers, representatives, what are you people doing about schools? What are you people doing about school? So there are a lot of factors fighting our educational sector.
And, well, there is no better time where we talk about politics and politicking. We know this is politicking year, but at the center of it should be the people whom you are politicking
Yep.
for.